back to your infotainment YouTube channel, ENC HUMeet. This episode mainly concentrates on the story called His First Flight, written by Jarmo Flaherty. Jarmo Flaherty. It's a story. So let me something about this Irish writer. He was born in 1896. And died in 1984. Birth and death. He is an Irish novelist and a short story writer. His works are noted for their psychological insight. That is a very important thing. Psychological insight into life's problems. So, all people's life have a lot of problems, and his writings are having psychological insight into life's problems, and through his writings he gives the ways, the means to overcome such problems in life. That is actually important of Jarmo Flaherty's writings. And the story, his first flight, remember that psychological insight. Psychological insight into life's problems. And also showing the ways to overcome those problems. That's important. And his story, First Flight, what is the theme of the story he's telling? Relates the importance of independence. Relates the importance of independence. You see, dependence and independence. So all the human beings should have their own independence. They should not depend upon others. And self-confidence. Another thing is self-confidence. Self-confidence is very important for achieving success in life. Then the need to remain involved in domestic domains. Domestic domains means family life. In domestic domains. That is all. So success comes from there. The importance of independence and self-confidence, as well as the need to remain involved in domestic domains of family life. Actually, this is the theme he underlines by telling the story through birds. Through the story of the birds. That is a very important. His first flight is the story revealed through birds. Through the story of the birds, the writer conveys, he communicates the importance of self-esteem and self-reliance. Self-esteem, self-reliance. These are the important themes of the story, his first flight. Okay, so remember, he is underlining the concept of self-esteem. Each individual should have his own esteem and also self-reliance. He himself should be independent of the life. That is what we come to know something about William O'Flaherty, the Irish novelist and short story writer. Remember, psychological insight into life's problems and ways to overcome such problems. And his birth and death later, and the themes he is telling about the importance of independence, then self-confidence, then the need to remain involved in domestic domains. Then other two things that he is talking about, self-esteem and self-reliance. These qualities should be inculcated in each and every individual. That is why through the story of birds, he is telling all these qualities should be inculcated in human beings. And also, he says these are the ways to achieve success in life. Let us go. What does the story say about? The story, his first flight by William O'Flaherty, is about a young seagull. About a young seagull. A young seagull. Remember? A young seagull. Young seagull. Is about a young seagull who is afraid to fly. All his younger siblings, 2 brothers and 1 sister, despite their much shorter wings, they have shorter wings than this young seagull, flew fearlessly while he could not gather the courage to trust on his own wings. You see, the young seagull, not at all in a position, he is afraid to fly. He is not trusting his own wings to fly, but his siblings, 2 brothers and 1 sister, 2 brothers and 1 sister. So younger siblings, he could not muster up courage. Muster up means gather up courage to trust his own wings. The young seagull becomes sad. And when he saw his parents perfecting his younger siblings in the art of flying. You see, the young seagull's parents, they are busy with perfecting this young seagull's siblings in the art of flying. His parents scolded and taunted him for not even trying. Tell him, why don't you try, young seagull? Please come and fly with your siblings. Younger siblings, they are engaged in their art of flying. His parents scolded and taunted this young seagull for not even trying. They even call him a coward, a fearful young seagull. Coward means coward, opposite to brave. So even the parents scold him and taunt him, provoke him with anger by angry remarks. That is what a taunt. Taunt, this is the word you will come across in the textbook. Taunt. So provoke somebody by angry remarks. That is all. So they tell him a lot to least try. Please try something, and also threaten him to leave him alone. Hey, young seagull, if you don't try to fly, we will leave you alone, and you will feel hungry if he does not try to fly. That is a threatening by parents and siblings. We will leave you alone in the ledge, and you will sit there without any food. they threatened. The following day, he is left in isolation. And upon feeling hungry, he tries to seek the attention of his family members. You see, the next morning came. He was left without food, and the next day he was trying to capture the attention of his family. But only his mother, think about his mother, young seagull's mother. His mother, who is withering a fish in an attempt to eat, was busy with taking a fish to eat. It notices his son. The mother notices his son. The young seagull cries out for starvation. It's calling out, crying, please give me some food. Hoping his mother would help her. On seeing his mother come to him with the flesh, then he sees the mother is coming to the young seagull with the fish. He gets excited. The young seagull gets excited. Then what happens? Forgetting for a moment that he is afraid. Finally, he forgot that he could not fly. Finally, he took his first flight. Finally, what happened? He started flying for the first time. So, what happened in the young seagull is the felt need. The felt need, that is food. The young seagull felt that it needed food, otherwise it will die. That prompted the young seagull to fly. His first flight. So forgetting for the moment that he is afraid to fly. Finally, he took first flight. All the family members celebrated young seagull's victory by cheering and dancing around the young seagull. He also attempts a floating in the sea. He attempted floating at the sea that he was once afraid of. Even he learned his flight, then he started floating on the water. Thus he overcomes his fear. So there was a crisis, a problem with the young seagull. Afraid. It was defeated, was not having confidence that he was not afraid of. He forgot the concept that he was afraid of flying. Thus he overcame his fear and realizes that it is all in his mind. Actually, it was his mental defect that he overcame such fear and became very confident in his flight. This is actually the story, but there are several paragraphs. Let us have a paragraph-wise analysis. Then only this is what I told. Just what do we call it as a summary of the story. Nothing else, but here the mental problem. That is why psychological insight we told that one. Let us go for explaining. I go for just to read it. Listen to the first paragraph. The young seagull was alone on his land. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched around beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. He felt sure, certain means sure, that his wings would never support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. That is what he had. Seagull, a bird that lives near the sea, has short legs, long wings, and white and grey feathers. So let, you must try to understand what is actually the let. Seagull, I will tell you seagull. Seagull is actually a bird that lives near the sea. And it has short legs, long wings, and white and grey feathers. Now let us see ledge. Ledge. These are the important vocabulary in the textbook. A narrow horizontal shelf, narrow horizontal shelf, narrow horizontal shelf, horizontal shelf, narrow horizontal shelf projecting from a wall, projecting from a wall, projecting from a wall, from a wall. Projecting from a wall, here we can say it is a cliff. Ledge means a cliff. This is the meaning of that. Now, there is another word comes that is a brink. Let us see what is a brink. 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 What is the meaning of a brink? The extreme edge of a land. Brink is the extreme edge. The extreme edge of land. Of land before a steep slope. Before a steep slope. Steep slope. So that is what the brink, slope, or a body or water of a slope. That's enough. So brink, the extreme edge of a land before a steep slope. That is what we call it as a brink. Then expanse. You must try to understand what is expanse. Expanse is actually a wide continuous area for something. A wide continuous area of something, something. That is what here we come to know. These are the important things. So let us see the first paragraph. The story is about a young seagull who is at the stage of life where he has to learn to fly. He is first attempting to fly. Unlike his younger brothers and sister, he is too afraid to fly. His siblings were started already, and parents were perfecting them in the art of flying. When all of them went for flying for the first time near the edge of the sea, all of them expected this young seagull, and succeeded. All of them succeeded. He could not trust, but the young seagull could not trust his wings. He got terrified by the vast sea and got convinced that he could never fly. That is all. He had a misbelief that he could not fly, and he could not trust his wings. He got terrified by the vast sea around and got convinced that he could never fly. As a result, he was ashamed. He was very much ashamed, and he was disheartened and went inside the lodge where he usually slept. That is the first paragraph talking about of this story, his first flight by Viamo Flagellum. So, the second paragraph we are going for, even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew away, he failed to muster up courage. The young seagull failed to muster up the courage to take that jump, plunge, dive and fly, which appeared to him so desperate. Actually, jumping and flying is very desperate for the young seagull. His father and mother had come around, calling to him shrilly and upbraiding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. But for the life of him, he could not move. Let us see what are the important words and meanings for this one. So, flapped is the word. Flapped. Flapped, let us see. Flapped. Flapped means make the wings and movements of the wings for playing. That means move up and down. Move up and down. Up and down. Move up and down the wings when flying or preparing to fly. That is all. So, then another is muster. Muster is the word. Muster means gather. Gather the courage. Gather. Muster, gather. Muster, gather. Then another is a plunge. I told you while explaining, plunge means dive. So plunge. So plunge means dive or jump. Dive or jump. Dive or jump. Then shrilly. Shrilly means make sound with a high pitch volume. So shrilly. Shrilly means make a sound with the high pitch. With the high pitch. With the high pitch. That is what we call it as shrilly. Then upbraid. Upbraid means parents were upbraiding the young seagull. That means scolding. Upbraid. Upbraiding. Upbraiding. Upbraid means scold. So upbraid means scold. Now let us see what is the second paragraph of the story says. His younger siblings managed to take the first flight despite their wings being shorter than this young seagull. But he could not summon the courage. He cannot, but the young seagull could not gather the courage. Though he tried so desperately, very miserably he was trying. And he was scolded by his parents for not trying again. But he was so afraid. The young seagull was very much afraid that he could not even move also. That he could not even move from the ledge to where he stayed. So this is the time for just winding up. And we will continue the next paragraphs and important words, meanings and explanations. I hope you will enjoy systematically. When you come for this class, please come with the textbook. And you can learn very clearly. And you can gather more points for your answers from the textbook itself by underlining with the pencils. If you have liked this class, please don't forget to subscribe E&C Edumate YouTube channel. Wish you all the best. We will meet again in the next episode. Thank you very much.